For over 140 years, murders, car accidents, grave robbers, headstone thieves and floods have filled the local papers with stories calling their settlement Agua Mansa, Spanish for calm waters, may have proved to be ill-suited. In 1862, after days of rain, the gentle waters of the Santa Ana River turned into a raging torrent that washed away much of the settlement. Historical records are not clear on how many lives were lost, but the settlement was rebuilt on higher ground. There have been a number of accidents down this once winding road, even after the repairs were made and the road repaved. She's now a smoother, straighter and safer road, but nothing has changed. Agua Mansa still has a taste for blood. There is no doubt that this road will quench its thirst, one way or another. Rachel was out with friends when they decided to drive down Agua Mansa Road.
It was late. It must have been around 2, maybe 3 in the morning. We were driving down Agua Mansa Road when we saw a man walking and decided to pick him up. I don't know what we were thinking. He said he was on his way home from a party. We dropped him off, exchanged numbers and said goodbye. A few weeks later, I decided to give him a call. The young woman answered the phone. When I asked for him, she said, "Is this a joke?" I told her, we saw him walking and we picked him up and dropped him off, but never got his name. He was coming home from a party. She screamed. He died. He died coming home, 3 years ago, from that party.
You will be hard-pressed to find another location like Agua Mansa. It seems to have it all when it comes to ghosts. The Friends of Agua Mansa would like to see the ghost stories go away, and the lives of those interned celebrated for more than just some urban legend. For example, Cornelius Jensen was born on the North Frisian Isle of Sylt. He took his mate's examination in Denmark, and for the next 20 years, he captained his very own ship. He came to California in 1848, and his crew tried their luck out at gold mining. He was convinced to move to the southern part of the state, where he met and married Mercedes Alvarado. They settled in Agua Mansa and raised 10 children. He was a captain, husband, father, rancher, vintner, sawmill owner and served on the county board of supervisors. Together, they were a well-known, well-loved couple in their community. Cornelius and Mercedes Jensen are buried at Agua Mansa Cemetery. Louis Robideau lived and died from 1791 to 1868. He was probably the richest man in the county. Hunting, trapping and trading, everything he did was successful. He married into a rich, New Mexican family. He was the first colonizer to sell small farms to those who would cultivate them. He built the first mill for flour and grain. In 1849, he drove cattle north and sold them to miners for food. Now, scattered tumbleweeds dot the hills of Agua Mansa, where a great thicket once covered the time-worn gravestones. But when the moon is full, and the wind blows through the swaying eucalyptus trees, the ghost of Louis Robideau, along with his faithful dog, walks down the center of the road, guarding his riches. The cemetery is haunted by an evil woman. Some call her the Weeping Woman, but she has a name that should never be spoken. She haunts this land, searching for her children. If she can't find hers, then she'll want yours instead. Remember, if you hear her scream, someone you love will die, and if you see her scream, then it will be you who will die. From the very beginning, this place has been one tragedy after another. The latest incident was in September of 2004. The caretaker, who lived at the cemetery, took his own life. County officials declined to talk about the death, at the request of his family. His life here was to watch over the 5-acre graveyard, which is on a hill surrounded by open fields and industrial businesses. Most of the gravestones are broken and weathered by the rain and sun. Pepper trees shade parts of the area and the weeds fill in where the grasses won't. His death is another chapter in the history of tragedies that fills this place with sorrow. This place that sits at the water's edge, in South Colton, California,